Hello? Hello, you beautiful little titans, you. Excuse me. All right, let me get. Well, last week it was the game. We talked about the game. Welcome to all our new subscribers. We welcome you. Oh, goody, it is muted. Oh, 1111. Hello, Jiggy Pardo Lord. Welcome to our brunch. I'm going to put my little you-know-what on. Well, a lot has happened. We are going to talk about all of it. The Invictus Games ceremonies, 1 year to go, ended in Whisler, BC, which I think is the perfect place for it because it's a great way of serving Britain, right? Excuse me. For Harry and Meghan to pop over to Vancouver, where they are dearly loved, since they both have a history of working in Canada. This thing is all tied up, right? And where's Invictus going to be? It's going to be somewhere. I don't know. Cheers, everyone. It's going to be in Britain. Yeah, it was cool. They were showing how you can ski if you're a paraplegic and stuff. All the new fancy stuff they have. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, Miss Vicky Ozzy. Good to see you here. Thank you for your support. Hi, Deborah Murphy. Hi, Rush. Good to see you. And Dylan's in the house. Kay Travel. Good to see you. Desiree Rabata. Welcome, welcome. Thank you, everyone who is a member of the channel. It's really helpful. It helps cover costs to keep us up and running. And also thank you for donations for the Center for Policing Equity. We've run this fundraiser for, I think, over a year. And then we were matched by Google. Google donated, I think, over $1 million. So we are running in honor of Martin Luther King. We are raising money for the Center for Policing Equity in honor of Dr. King's birthday. And cheers to all of you. On that note, if I mailed any herbal medicine this week, I dropped some off. They said it would not be shipped out until Tuesday because of Dr. King's birthday. So I apologize for that. If you are waiting on any medicine from me. Yeah. Okay, so a little bit about what's going on. Our book of the month for the Book of the Month Club, which is actually in my bed, is Evolution Through Contact by Don Daniels. Evolution Through Contact by Don Daniels. And for those of you who are interested, our book club meets at 6 p.m. at the end of the month. On Tuesdays live after Taco Tuesday. So Evolution Through Contact is the book we've chosen. It was written by Don Daniels. Don Daniels will be appearing in studio for your questions live. And so I'm sure that you will all want to participate. I think you can get it. It's new, used, and I think also you can probably get a Kindle version if you're trying to save a little money. Very, very interesting book and very, very interesting premise. So yeah, we're looking forward to speaking with Don Daniels on the 27th at 6 p.m. live Taco Tuesdays. We are selecting books. If you are a writer and you would like us to recognize your work and you think that you would like to be part of our book clubs, please send your book to 1819 Southwest 5th Avenue, Suite 116, Portland, Oregon, 97201. And if your book is selected, we will have it for the Book of the Month Club. Thank you. All right. Also be sure and share, check out our merch, everybody. We do sell a ton of merch here. And of course, the money also goes to help support the channel. Want to give a warm shout out to Joel Tilson. He is the floor director. That is official aficionado. So anything, if you're getting frustrated because your question isn't seen or anything like that, just reach out to Joel. Also, we want to give warm welcome and gratitude to Debbie Brady. If you like what you see here, any of the design, the art, etc. that we use, all of that is Debbie Brady. She was kind enough to come in as the creative director and help clean up the channel. She's also an amazing she's a manager for up and coming talent, and you may want to reach out to her for that as well. Oh, you got Desiree Roboto got hers off Amazon. Yeah, good book, and very interesting and very intriguing, but also somewhat disturbing, because when you start to realize that there are things going on out there that we may not totally understand, you think, well, what else is going on out there that we don't totally understand, right? Okay, so that's all the announcements. So what do you guys think? You think we should do the Empath prayer? Yes, the Invictus Games were in, was it the games or was it the 1 year to go ceremony? Because do the Invictus Games happen every 2 years or 3 years? I can't remember, but yeah, I think it was the ceremony to prepare for it was like right? I don't know anything. I don't know nothing about birth and babies. I just, I just work here. What can I tell you? All right, let's do the Empath prayer, and then we're going to talk about the news. We're going to go through a couple remote answer questions about anything I may have said. I'm happy to answer those questions, and then we can go ahead and do the collective reading, and then we can blitz away. Does that work out for everybody? Okay, great. So, Empath prayer. Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together, collectively, we say, Amen. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. So last night I put up a video on Navalny, and a lot of you are pretty upset. Do you guys want to talk about Navalny and some of what Navalny said, it was a very interesting communication with him. Um, one of the impressions I got when I went into Navalny's energy is that he had talked himself into his death many times. There were many times they psyched him out. Many times they played games with him to try and break him, walking him into the water closet and closing the door, and strange, like leading him into a closet, like we're going to lock you in, and then not doing it, like weird energetic things like this. So in plainer words, for Navalny, every day he woke up, he went through in his mind the realization that he could be assassinated, and then coming to terms with it. So even though other people didn't believe it was going to happen, when you went into his energy, every day he prepared himself psychologically that this could be the day that I die. So when I went into his energy, it was almost nonchalant in a way that I have not encountered with other people. And I think it's because of the gulag, because of what he had gone through every single day. He had to cope with or become nonchalant about his own death. And so there was this feeling of, well, they did it. And that kind of if he had been all hyped up, he would not have survived 5 minutes in a Russian prison. And so a kind of stoicism that comes out of prison, where you are fearless and you simply take the bullets as they come and you accept it. It's a kind of brutality that I have a real hard time wrapping my head around. Yeah. So the question now is, where do we go from here? Now, we're talking about compromised individuals in the United States, or individuals who may not be compromised, but they may have, they're either compromised or they have economic interest that everybody gets along. This is one of the things that concerns me. Elon Musk, I believe, spoke, was it Congress the other day, saying basically that Putin's not going to give up and he can sacrifice 120,000 soldiers a year because he can just keep bringing in new ones. And so he's just going to exhaust Ukraine. But what was weird about listening to him is he said things that sounded like they came from Russian propaganda. Like at one point, Elon Musk said, they're going to sacrifice the flower of their youth. I'm sorry, I don't know anyone in the West that talks like this. The flower of their youth. This is Western. This is not Western. This is an Eastern language. So my concern with all of this is that you have business people that are billionaires because they're buying and selling from everybody. And then they start to have political power, which kind of bypasses democracy. And it's not so much, they may not necessarily be treasonous so much as just people that are selling and buying. It's good for their bottom line if we all get along. So either way, though, it doesn't have anything to do with national security. It doesn't have anything to do with national security, whether or not some businessman is frustrated because they're having trouble getting trade out. You know what I'm saying? So, and that contradicts how I feel, Because how I feel is that Russia is facing an internal collapse. And it's facing an internal collapse because of civil war. And I feel that the reason that Navalny was assassinated is because Russia and Putin are so weak right now. They're so weak right now that they are so desperate that is why they took his life, because their boat, it is not going to take much for their boat to be rocked. You have to remember when you guys first asked me to go in, the first thing I found was that their war coffers were bankrupted. They didn't have any money in the war coffer. Does the West not know this? I mean, like, I sometimes feel like I hope the FBI, I hope U.S. intelligence watches this, right? Because when I went in, I thought they don't have money to pay Wagner. What is this, $1 billion? What? You don't have this kind of money. I was like, where did all your money go? So then when I was in the books, I thought, well, where did all your money go? And they said, well, we gave it to independent contracts. We outsourced. We outsourced food to Prigozhin, his food company, and then his weapons. And then, so what happened was that the oligarchs started charging more than if the Russian military would have been producing it on its own. And the reason that the military did that was to give money and jobs and income and contracts to their friends, which is exactly what we're seeing happening in the United States with Starlink, right? So Starlink now has a contract in the United States, right? Which means that our security and our ability to use Starlink is at the mercy of somebody whose loyalty is not necessarily questionable. It's just that this guy's loyalty is to his company, right? His loyalty is to his company. That's not the same as saying he's a spy or he's an enemy of the people. That's not what I get. I get that he's a businessman, and as long as all this fighting's going on, he can't get his stuff out. He can't get back to China. He can't get back to Russia. And so if Putin is frustrated by his trade route, then Elon Musk is frustrated by his trade route, because that's an important trade route. You see? So it's not that he's an enemy. We're not saying Elon Musk is a traitor. We're saying he's a businessman, and he's got too many fingers in too many pots. And this is the problem again with business. Business overrides the Constitution. And that's a problem. So we start doing the business of the businessman, excuse me, and not the needs of the business of the people, right? When you've got more money than the GDP, right? That's concerning. So I think Russia's going to collapse. I don't agree with Mr. Musk. I know he wants to get, I don't think he's a spy. I think he's just a businessman trying to get along with everyone. You have to realize how important the Eastern Alliance is to his business. He needs China. He needs Russia. He needs us to get along. He doesn't want war. He's not a warmonger, right? So Elon Musk's business model is he's not a warmonger. He wants everyone to stop fighting, right? So, because he wants to tell everybody, if there's fighting, there's a boycott. So his business model is he's not a warmonger. But that's a problem. You have to pick sides, right? You have to pick sides. Two-faced. I think he's just a businessman. He's thinking in terms of his business. if he can't get what did he say? He said the problem isn't getting the minerals for computers and for Starlink and for all this stuff. The problem is the quality of the metals, the purity, particularly when you're dealing with conduction. Excuse me, something's in my throat. So, they're working very close with like cosmonauts, Russia, and conduction of metals, sharing of sciences. So if we're not sharing science with the Russians, if we're not sharing trade like this type of metal quality, etc., then he can't get to Mars, right? It's not in the Constitution, by the way. We don't have to get to Mars. Yeah, so that's what we cannot. I've read a lot on Musk since I gave the peace proposal. When I sent him, it's like, oh, of course he loves the peace proposal, Be Kind, because it means they'll stop fighting and they can all buy his products, right? And one thing that Shauna Hill, the expert on Putin, what's her name? Shauna Hill. I don't think I'm saying her name right. She was interviewed by Rowan Farrow about Elon Musk. And he's an opportunist. He sees opportunities, trade, pure metals coming in. But yeah, she didn't feel like he was evil or anything. She felt like he was a shrewd businessman trying to get good quality and good trade because of what he wanted. And so that's, he wants cosmonauts sharing data and going to Mars with him, right? So he's not living in our world, right? So thank you, Fiona Hill. So that's not what Fiona Hill was saying about him. She was saying, so you can accuse him of many things. She would never accuse him of being a warmonger, because his entire business model is based on people not warring. This is why he wanted the fight to stop in Ukraine. And you also can't really say he's backing Putin. He's backing what will stop the war, right? Get the trade out. So it's a very, it's pro-capitalist, right? But what if your trade were bombs? It's from a different planet. Yeah, like I said, I have mixed feelings. I don't support cryptocurrency. I'm opposed to that. I think you do have to take a political stand. I don't feel comfortable with the fact that Putin is praising him. That if you're going to be a U.S. citizen, be a U.S. citizen. Otherwise, you don't need to. I don't support him on his stance on migration. Talking, I only had $2,000 when I went to Canada. Yes, and $1 million education from Ivy League schools, more than $1 million. So, yeah, so those are all my criticisms. But at the same time, there's something to be said about pure capitalism and pure trade, and because it goes back to this Bedouin idea of the trade routes and having an oasis. I can see why he fell into interest on that thesis, because you had these trade routes and it was all about keeping the trade routes safe, and people should be able to go into an oasis and do business and rest, etc. And you had people that were willing to pay privately for security just to keep the trade open, live and let live. And that was the beginnings of what would become democracy. And in a sense, it was a pure democracy, wasn't it? The oasis. You could be trans, you could be LGBTQ, what was loosely called eunuchs, right? So eunuchs was an umbrella term that often included LGBTQ. So the point being that it was kind of an early experiment with democracy. Anyway, so a little bit of feedback on that, and I enjoyed reading Fiona Hill's feedback on that. She's quite brilliant. Okay, so I think that's all I have for you. I guess we can do a collective reading unless some of you, oh yes, Meghan and Harry, that was the last thing. Did I have anything more for you regarding Meghan and Harry? Well, their main kingdom is Canada, which is Canada and Australia. They don't necessarily have to spend time in Britain. They can go to events that are part of the Commonwealth, that are part of, and they don't have to spend too much time in. They're still serving the Invictus Games, the 1 year to go ceremony, the raising funds for certain projects, etc. They're now merging it more with King Charles. It's disturbing to me as a remote viewer to see how much of Queen Elizabeth's former court advisors were racist. And she kind of was tired, exhausted, and she kind of let herself get taken over by Prince Philip's advisors. And some of them were incredibly racist, they call the red hatters, the beef eaters. They'll do anything to protect the crown, right? So Charles is a different rhythm. And so I think Charles got rid of a lot of those people. Because he and Anne are, I know so many things about Anne. Oh my God. You guys know about the dress she wore that was flowers. Did she make it outside with that thing? It was a mini skirt of, what was it? It was a mini skirt of sunflowers with one petal dropping, right? Up to here. Flower child. And I think rumor has it the queen locked her in a closet or something, wouldn't let her leave. But I do think I actually said Queen Anne. I do think Princess Anne snuck out and was seen in that very dress. So the inside joke with her and Charles is that she is the flower child in the closet. If you want to know who Anne is, if you truly want to know who Anne is, she is that child that tries to sneak out in the a flower child mini. And you can't see it, but it's there. So I think that they will never take that away from Anne. She will always be the naughty little girl that is a little bit rebellious and also very much a freedom fighter, I think, when I go into this energy with her. So I think that for those reasons, we'll see things will be more progressive going forward, because Anne and Charles are very different than their parents in that regard. Okay, so are we ready to do a Narat? Are you drunk again? Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I don't drink. So, yeah, can't help you there. Yeah, it's, do you guys have that picture? Did she make it out of the house in that thing? I heard about the scandal, and then let me see if I can find it. She was always doing it. She was always sneaking out in these outlandish outfits, and her mother was constantly Oh, she did. You guys want to see it? Do you guys want to see what happened? Do you want to see when she snuck out? Who wants to see Anne snuck out in the dress that her mother wouldn't? You want to see it? I think she looks great. Look at that hair. I think it looks great, but it was too short. I mean, the thing was that she was going short, 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 and it was the short, short, short that drove her mother insane. You see these costumes that she would wear, and it just drove. I love her. It's an FU to the system to some extent, in that she wanted to, well, she was making a statement, wasn't she? I mean, she was making a statement about that it's her body, you know, and her mother wanted below the knee, a couple inches below the knee, and she was not going to be that person. She had to do things her way. And so it often led to controversy. But I think there she is again, several inches above the knee. She was making political statements with these outfits. You know, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that we're going to be seeing something different than where we've been? I guess that's the next question we can ask. Yeah. Doesn't seem like a big deal now, but actually even today it would be considered controversial, I guess. Yeah, I love her mini, and I love the mother with the modest dress and the scowl walking ahead of her. You could not control Anne. You cannot control Anne. All right, collective reading. Well, she's an advisor now to the king, so I'm sure she's going to say a lot about all of this, right? Cheers. All right, this is your reading for the week. If you're watching this, it's a message from Spirit for your message. Wow, it's starting to rain again. Hi, 1111. Thanks for being here. 1111 is one of our benefactors. He helps keep the channel up and running. Much appreciation. Thank you. All right, where you're at right now, they're saying that now is the time to maybe move away from all this intense drama that you've been feeling. And, you know, we're now entering in, excuse me, sorry about this cough. I don't know what's going on. I took my Claritin about 2 hours ago. You know, the first spring starts February 14th. That's when the ground starts to thaw and you can start your planting, right? So March 20th is the second spring, right? So you have a first early spring and a second spring. So some people herald the beginning of spring as February 14th. I think in Ireland it's considered the first spring, the first thaw, right? If you want to start your planting. So I want to do it now but you know what? Every time I do it, I get a frost in April and things die. Anyway, you guys could have love in your future. 2 of Cups is moving in with the Fool. You know, I've been watching that show, Love is Blind. Have you all seen Love is Blind? Yeah, so it's all about finding true love and real connections and people being honest and people telling the truth and moving away from games. You know what I'm saying? Um, there's a huge transformation in people's lives. If people want true love, they have to be authentic and they have to be real. Yeah, I knew I was going to get a cough because I didn't make my herbal tea and because the cat's been shed. She always sheds a lot on this couch, and I didn't. So I knew I was going to get a cat. It's okay. Um, yeah, I've been washing her with that dander stuff, and it's been really helping actually. Okay, so new love comes to you with the Fool card. That could indicate that for many of you, you could decide to just maybe start doing a little. I wish they had that game. Who here would sign up for Love is Blind? Uh, they would have to be vetted though, because the problem with Love is Blind is that's the internet, and 90% of those people are con artists, right? So you'd have to have it be vetted that people are there for the right reasons, right? Um, but you also have this death and transformation over love. Like now is the time of love. You really feel spring is in the air. The blossoms are starting, right? What are the first blossoms? The cherry blossoms in February, right? So we have this violent energy on top of us, which could indicate crazy weather in your area. So be careful about that. I see some of you traveling. Some of you could be going to the Southwest or international travel or going to warmer places in the next month or so. Many of you are confused, feeling lost. It's something that I've been seeing a lot. Seven of Cups. You don't have to save the world. You don't have to do any of that. All you have to do is create something. You are called to create something positive in the world. That could be being a mother. You know, that's kind of the highest achievement, right? Being a good mother, they say, is the hardest and the highest. A good father, a good parent, the least reward and the greatest achievement, right? Creating functional humans that will carry on the mission, right? But what if you don't have kids? What if then spiritually, what else can you do? I mean, you can go into service work, waiters, wait staff, cleaning, healthcare. Uh, uh, some people get into politics for the right reason. But one of the things you get with this card is this feeling of being confused a little bit about what I'm here to do. Oh, can I plant the tulips now? I hear they have to be planted in September. Is it too late? I think it might be too late for the bulb. Is it too late for the bulbs in February? I think it might be too late. Tremendous growth for you folks. I'm seeing a lot of growth, a lot of spiritual growth, and you folks are focusing a lot on your health in the coming days. Yesterday, all I wanted was a chop salad. Speaking of health, I just wanted a chop salad. And then it dawns on me now that I have everything I need for a chop salad. I only have a couple things. I can just go make it myself. This is great. Okay. You're See, I just think about food all the time. Well, I have sesame oil. Toast. I just realized I had sesame oil. I've got rice vinegar. If you have shredded cabbage, and you could put in toasted almonds or peanuts, depending on what you like. And then all you have to do is buy, if you have a roasted chicken, and just throw it in. Grate some carrots in there, maybe. Maybe put in some thinly sliced cukes. Get your greens in there. Hot and sour soup. Ooh, yummy. Hopes and fears that you are getting logged in too much. Jail. Don't create a jail for yourself. Your time is running out. This goes back to what Navalny said, right? We are just a speck on a speck of dust. We are a speck on a speck of dust. That's what Navalny said. If you pull back and you look at our universe, what you see is that the world is just a speck. And we're a speck on that spec? And what will you do with the time you have here? It's only a brief amount of time. You might as well try and advance the cause and try and make the world a better place. You've got nothing to lose, right? Yeah. Be patient with yourself. You're worrying a lot about money. Too many people are worrying about money. Worry more about your health. It's very important for people to take care of their health right now. Let go of ego and instead focus on mastering your skills. Just get yourself stable and focus on producing good work. Ooh, Joel Tilson made cabbage and ground beef stew. God, you're such a good cook. You know, I bet you could do like an egg noodle with that, Joel. You could do like an egg noodles or something with cabbage and ground beef. That would be delish. Well, we can go ahead and, yeah, it's like Horton Hears a Who. So, yeah. He's so nonchalant when you go into it. I think when I was the FSB, we saw it wasn't something I think they saw in the West, but when he shows up in prison, I mean, when he shows up in court, when Navalny showed up in court with his wit and his laughing and his charm and his fear, he's doing it psychologically to show the world, don't be afraid of these clowns. That's what he was saying. Yes, I'm here. Yes, I'm alive. Of course I'm laughing. Laugh with me. This was what he was doing when he was laughing and joking with this minister and joking. He was trying to show the people of Russia, don't be afraid of these clowns. So what did they do? What did he do? If this guy's allowed to keep coming and publicly on their media talk like this, what has he done? He's made all the other Russians fearless. They took him out. It was because of what happened, because he became like a folk hero on Russian television after that. And so they realized he was too much of a national threat after that. This guy is dangerous. And they are so weak right now in Russia that they felt they had no choice but to take him out. And to send a message, you want to laugh in the face of the FSB? This guy laughed in the FSB, and 48 hours later, he was dead. You want to be next? So that was the message. You don't laugh at the FSB. So there you go. They made their point. Or did they make their point? Yes, we're looking for more books, Debbie. We've run out of books for the book club. So please send us your books if you want us. If not, we will pick a popular author. I'm probably going to go with something on the subject of physics. Just introduction so that we can all learn about physics. If you haven't read, I think I'm going to read Stephen Hawking's. If we can't get we'll do a Stephen Hawking's read, because I need to know about it, because I don't know anything about it. Yeah, so we might do Stephen Hawking's next month if we can't find an author. Yep. Hi, Katrine. Thank you for being here. Yeah, so Joel, let's take a look at Navalny and whether or not it's going to have an impact on civil war, which is already, I mean, they're being bombed left and right. I mean, I got the impression that Russia could collapse in 6 months if this keeps up, and that killing Navalny only made things worse. Now people are making pipe bombs in their kitchens with bleach. I mean, or what is it, ammonia or how, uh, mustard gas and crap. I mean, what you've done, the students are getting active. This is, um, they should not have done this thing. I'm seeing pipe bombs. I'm seeing student activism. I'm seeing people making stuff in their kitchens on the linoleum floor because the linoleum won't melt. Like the brick of the kitchen, because they're using corrosive substances. So they will not accept this government. They will not accept the military. Rejection of the military. The people are revolting. They are now in full out civil war. They have rejected the police. They have rejected the military. So yeah, it's every Russian for himself. It's every Russian in their kitchen stuffing pipe bombs. They're going into the basement. God, I can't believe this. If I give the full remote, I'm going to give away the location. And I don't know if I want to help the Russians find. Certain buildings they're going to go in and they're going into the basement and into the bomb shelters. That's how they're actually entering in and sabotaging certain buildings. You know, it's interesting because sometimes you don't lock a bomb shelter so that everybody can get into the bomb shelter or the basement or whatnot. But the problem is, as a result, people can sneak in down in there and then they can start to plant explosives. But entering into large buildings, getting underground, getting into the wiring, getting into connections, going up into shafts, the revolution will be victorious in 1 year. It's moving very quickly. They are mobilized. So they're communicating with units that are mobile in Ukraine. So you have ground group troops, the local civilians in Belgrade and other areas. And then you have communication with the chariot, the mobile military, right? An emissary is coming to make peace. So they're trying to get a standoff, white flag, between Russian civilians and people that are supporting the revolution coming out of Belgrade and the military. So the military comes in and they bring an emissary of peace. Like, oh, come on, we are all Russian. Come on. What is this? We are all Russian. Ace of Wands. No, this is like entrepreneurship. No, we're coming together with sticks, stones, mortar. We want you to get the hell out of Ukraine, right? So the church, the relationship of the church. So they are leaving the church. The church is splintered. The church is splintered. Action, reaction. Action, reaction. Reaction. Divorce. The church, the people's relationship to the church in the past. Divorce. So the church split, right? You have Ukraine is split. It's split from Eastern Orthodoxy. It's split from Russia. And now they're doing December 25th, right? So you see this divorce starting to happen where people are now renouncing, I don't want to be part of the Russian church anymore. If this is supported by the Russian church, I renounce that church. So they're losing congregants. Want to talk about it? Is anybody surprised? Who's paying the church if the congregants leave? the thugs and oligarchs, the criminals, right? The mafia, that the warmongers, right? Mm-hmm. A partnership. They've partnered with Ukraine. The heavy load. Hopes and fears the judgment. They're very frugal. They can make bombs from anything. They're saying we can make bombs from anything. Drones. They can't stop the drones. They've developed a drone that has fuel in it. And when it hits contact, when the nose hits contact, it causes it to push back and it causes a lever for it to explode. So that it's like a Pez. It's like a Pez. So when it's got a fuel area, and then when it hits, and the impact, it causes the detonation. That's what I'm seeing. They're trying to no deal. They will die rather than give up. Look at this attempts to get them to give up. They're stuck to Putin. Yeah. Yeah, I started to get the I saw them going under and then I had to cut the remote because I guess you guys will see it. Usually I'm sorry about this allergy. You guys will usually get the news a couple days later after I give it to you. Like when they targeted those 3 boats. They're going to blow up buildings. Well, they're razing them to the ground, aren't they? You know, this is what they did in Oklahoma with fertilizer. And unfortunately, that's what they're doing with government buildings in Russia. There's what do you do in a situation like that? Excuse me. They're telling government workers to work from home during bomb threats. People adapt. Don't go to the courthouse today so you just work from home. It's crazy. They're facing another revolution. Congress in the next 2 weeks. Recess. They hung up the responsibility. People didn't know what to do. That we have the resources. Nikki Haley will support Ukraine, and she's not bought by she's not bought by Putin, and she will take a strong stance on this. And so I don't see a future with Putin in the Republican Party. The IRS now is going after him. He has to pay taxes on the money he didn't pay. So they had guesstimated that he owes upwards to $100 million from the IRS to be determined. I think it's going to be closer to 120 million. So they can either they can't confiscate the territory. He doesn't own all the properties. His excuse me, his co-investors could bail him out, but uh, he has no future in the Republican Party because he doesn't have any money. He's going to prison. That's what I keep telling people. You can't get out of it. There's not enough money. Do you understand? Because he already owes close to $500 million. And now he's got another, 120 million more coming from the IRS, plus 91 federal counts. Think about that. 91 federal counts. You just don't like our candidate because he's a conservative. No, your candidate is facing 91 federal charges. I mean, did you think the Republican Party would be so messed up that they would pick a candidate that is facing 91 federal charges? No, it'll get resolved, Congress. You can see this moving in, and this hardline pro-Putin stuff is coming to an end. And I hope that they get the message that Putin is very weak, that it is collapsing, that there are oligarchs that want to work with the United States. Elon Musk is wrong. They're not all horrible. And some of the people that we support, that would be, not all the oligarchs get along either, by the way. But that's not true. There are people in positions of power that would do a much better job than Putin, oligarchs. All right, drug rehab for Elon Musk. Let's take a look. Refusing. He's refusing. Over. Doesn't he get drug tested? Hopes and fears, 3 of Cups. Facing jail. See, he's under SEC investigations for money, and he gets his wish regarding something. Oh, trying to get him back. He's probably really difficult to work with because he's tough. No, he's not going to drug rehab or anything like that. I mean, I think he admitted to occasionally smoking marijuana, and he tried his brother tried ayahuasca. He might have too. And he's into all that hippie Californian stuff. I don't know. No, he's very stubborn. He gets his wish. They're going to drop it. And then there's a 6 of Cups trying to make nice with him. His hopes and fears. His love life, 3 of Cups, 3 women on his mind, and 10 of Swords, constantly getting, sure, because people always want your money when you're rich. Fear of getting stabbed in the back, betrayal, baby's mama. Yeah, he's in a baby's mama custody thing. The baby mama, jail, baby mama. So I think he's got more kids coming. Good, God bless him. And I think he's going to make peace with his ex. But no, I don't see him going to jail or anything. He is going to have to work with the SEC, though. And Russia under Putin has no future. So that's what I think. Yeah, the sabotage happening in Russia. Oh, it went away, whatever that was. I think I had a hair in my throat. Sorry about that, you guys. Yeah, so the sabotage is just people fed up that just want this war to end. And you have to realize how many people have had family members that have been killed. So they just want the war to end. Let's do the final days of Putin. The final days of Putin. Are these? I think they are. I mean, they're saying 6 months to a year maximum. I hate that. I hate when I get a hair in my throat. It just it's the worst. It's just the worst. Putin. Did Stalin just die naturally? Is that what? How did Stalin just died naturally, right? Nobody killed Stalin, right? He's getting replaced by the King of Swords, which leads me to think that the military may be temporarily in charge. What do you guys think? Do you think that the military is going to? Do you think it's going to be a military coup? Because okay, he died March 5th. Let's see what we got going on here. I'm just curious about this because this guy reminds me so like he's the reincarnation of Stalin or Ivan the Terrible. Okay, his health deteriorated. He had atherosclerosis, heavy smoker, mild stroke. He had a heart attack. He had very high blood pressure, hypertension. They gave him leeches to drop the blood pressure, to take the pressure off. Interesting. Yeah, so he's like Stalin, right? Nobody assassinated Stalin. This guy, though, Putin is facing charges, but you have him as the emperor. The people will not accept him. Hopes and fears, the partnership. And then the final outcome is the King of Swords, which is the military, which perhaps we could see a military presence. He's going to try and create civil unrest where the different factions attack each other, and this will keep the military in charge longer. He wants to create chaos at the level of the civil unrest. You can see here Putin gets his wish, creating, he's going to get them to fight each other. And then his hopes and fears, the partnership. And then the final outcome is the military is strong. So the other aspect of that is that the military is broke, that the Russian military is broke. And so part of this is him trying to recover from all of the money that they lost because they gave so much to Wagner. Yeah. Oh, Trump was selling high-end sneakers, and that's great. Anything he can do to pay. But is he going to sell $500 million worth? I don't know. Oh, there are rumors that Stalin was poisoned. His health was so bad. Do you think they needed to? Oh, half a cat hair every night. God, that's awful. Do you see what it does? It just my whole system. Yeah. Okay, so you're asking about donating. So if you want to donate to the center, there's a little button there that says donate, and you just click on it. Yeah, Wagner really bankrupted them in a really bad way. Oh, Kate's health. I'm sorry, I never got to that. So this is something, and people are freaking out that they don't understand. She was taken off of all future engagements, and that's what's freaking people out, like the BAFTA awards. There's no, she's not on anything. It's like she doesn't work it's weird. It's gotten really, well, no one's seen or heard from her in 2 months. She had some emergency stomach surgery we can't get the details of. Now rumors are leaking of a prescription drug problem. So did she go to rehab? Is that what it is? Is this just a cover for rehab? Did she overdose? Did they pump her stomach? I mean, like, what the hell and this is their own press. What are you saying? Like, what is going on? Was it an accidental overdose and then they pumped her stomach and then you said, oh, she had a stomach problem? Or was it First it was an obstruction, then it was a, well, that would make but what obstructed? Oh God, what a mess. Let's take a look. Oh boy. Let's see. I hope she's alive, man. It's like I asked Pippa, her sister, why'd you go on vacation when your sister, and Pippa said, they told me to go ahead. Should I cancel? Should I cancel? No. We don't want you to cancel, because if you cancel, it's going to look bad. No, go and have a vacation so that like everything's normal. That's the best thing you can do for Britain, right? Is to appear normal. So this is just weird. Like, why would I have gotten that as feedback to her sister, who, his sister went to what, Spain, south of France for holiday or something? Let's see. Kate, she's heartbroken. Kate's heart is broken. She's worried about her financial situation. Will she be okay financially? Packed up and moved to another location. This could be Sandringham. Her crossing issue. She's up at night, nightmares, pain. It can be migraines, sleep disturbances, etc. She may not be entirely happy about this move. You can see here, heavy load moving north. It's a move north. That would be Scotland, I take it. Then heartbreak, and concerns about her financial future. What is above her? She's trying to heal. This could also be a child. So it's about healing. It's Archangel Raphael traditionally. For those of you who are wondering, the archangel that brings the elixir is Raphael. She sits in, her life is changing really quickly. Things are just helter skelter. They've gone crazy really quickly. She's doing some serious thinking, the Hermit. She's entering into a time of Archangel Michael, who carries the sword of truth. She's coming to some real solid truth about her situation. Where she is right now, Archangel Uriel, a new beginning. The pilgrim, Ali, the fire sign, comes to bring a new beginning. The other who she's having problem with is getting married. Someone who is in conflict with her is getting married. There's a wedding here. The hope and fear, the wedding, or the birth, or something like that. You can see there's like a baby or a birth or a wedding, and somebody getting, it's almost like, I don't know if it was her husband marrying somebody else or off with somebody else, but somebody that they've gone and gotten married, and there's this baby, or there's this love in this child. Violent, angry energy is upon her. There is a war coming. The queen is about to be invaded. So it's like the princess is about to be invaded. There's a war coming upon her. She's trying to establish a new partnership. The other she's having issue with is a fool for love. She's having, perhaps again, it's William. He's gone gaga in love, marriage, or it could be Harry. The hopes and fears. She feels trapped, right? Prisoned, trapped. And then her final outcome, the King of Cups. Maybe she's going to be like Melania. Maybe she can make it work and nothing has to change. You know? So is it possible she's pregnant again? Is that part of what's going on? I'm seeing images of like creativity, pregnancy. Her opposition fled like a thief. It's like William flees like a thief. Her hopes and fears, an affair. Over William, he will be king. So maybe she's just going to accept it. At this point, he runs off to go be with somebody else. There's nothing she can do about this. And they live separate lives, but she's still the queen. There's a possibility of another child here. If that's a child, because we've got the Empress in the 7th house. If she had a difficult pregnancy or something like that on top of everything else later in life, that would also explain why she needs to take it easy. You know, if it's first trimester, second trimester in a difficult pregnancy, which she said a history of difficult pregnancies, particularly, was she 42 now? So there is a possibility of a pregnancy here as well. I did not see a drug overdose. For those of you who had asked if we're looking at it, no, there's no indication here of a drug overdose. There's something about a child and love and William. What sign is William? Is he a water sign? Well, yes, energetically, Jillian, I don't know if she's going to move to California. I don't want to be misunderstood, but he had 7 of Wands, so that leads me to think that emotionally he will be reconciled with Kate. And so you could see William just takes off. He doesn't want to, he's always whining about having no power. He can't even decide what to wear on his wedding day. That's why he wants to be king. So he can not, he's a man in his 40s who doesn't get to decide what he wants to wear. Yeah, so in terms of Kate's health, she's going to be okay. But I also don't like seeing those cards where William is just, the heart wants what it wants, though, doesn't it? All right, I'll check William really fast, and then I'm going to go. What's going on with William? William the troublemaker. William the Tory conservative, in love with his conservative girlfriend. He's in love. Queen of Swords. He's in love with another woman. Sword of Truth is over him. A new beginning awaits him. New partnership. He's going to have to really get real about the fact that he's going to be king over his marriage. His partnership in his marriage. what he's leaving the fool. It's time to grow up, boy. Hanging up a partnership. Well, he can publicly come out as, Kate's the queen. She should be given that. Like, he's so confused right now. Her. This Rose woman, is she like a fire sign? Because she's very possessive. He's strong. He's trapped. Well, Charles should be understanding. Charles should be understanding, considering that he's been through it himself. So, yeah, I think that they've got a lot to work out. We have to pray for this family, Drug overdose. She could have taken more of her prescription medications, and so it would have been missed. Yes. Or if she had taken a large amount, could that have caused an obstruction? And so they pumped her, and then the obstruction was caused by the pills. I don't know. I mean, well, let me try. I don't know. It's an interesting theory. Could it happen? Yes, it does happen. It's the worst possible thing that can happen when you pump someone's stomach is that you get a perforation. Yes, it can happen. Particularly if you're violently trying to get the drugs out of somebody's system. Emetics can, if the person is violently vomiting, that can cause damage. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, Diana also had an attempted suicide, right? She threw herself downstairs. She also did something with pills once, right? So the royals are not really good they don't treat their wives very well, do they? This is Kate. She thinks her husband's a psychopath. She thinks that he is, she wants to talk about people's emotional health all the time. Whereas William is a little bit on a power trip. With him, it's always power. Enough about that. Enough about the emotions. He simply will not address her emotional needs. The King of Pentacles is greedy with his purse. He's greedy with his heart. It's a greedy king. She's rendered 10 of Swords. He has no hearts. There she is, Rose. Marriage to Rose. He wants to be with Rose. It's karmic, you guys. It's karmic. It's not, he can't know. There's money to take care of Kate. If they can get a separation where Kate and him have a business arrangement and she remains queen and he can have a mistress on the side, they can stay married, because you can see an economic incentive for Kate. This new relationship. The situation will be resolved in 6 months. I feel cold to him as Kate. I feel like I don't know him. He's become something else. very matter of fact, very when do I get the power? This is the situation, deal with it. I mean, it's very, I don't know you. I can't believe I had 3 children with this person. I mean, I don't know. It's like, 4 of cups. I'm not feeling much affection here between these two. She's going to be okay, though. Give her 6 more months. I think we should just let the press or the truth come out as it will. Very strange cards. Very, very, very strange cards. It's just I mean, like, I didn't even think like that. I didn't think like that until the story leaked yesterday that she was taking prescription drugs. I mean, like, it literally didn't even enter my mind. Out of sight, out of mind, like, because she's so conscious of emotional well-being, but you can't take care of your emotional well-being when you're married to somebody who doesn't want to address it. What did he say? We did a remote view once on him, on William, and I asked about his emotional well-being, and he said, I'm a Windsor. Of course I've had therapy. He made a joke about it, and I thought, well, that's funny. But how do you feel about therapy? And his response was, I would rather chew on broken glass. So, okay. So you'd rather chew on broken glass than go into therapy with your wife to save your marriage. So instead you went off and did something else to alleviate your stress or whatever your anxiety is, rather than save your marriage. So that was us checking in on him 8 months ago. And if you remember that conversation, it did not bode well for the future of their marriage. I'm just saying. All right. Thank you, everyone who has spent this brunch with me. I apologize for my kitty cough. It is what it is. If you're trying to get in for a reading with me, you can find the information below. If you need just a quick Wizio 5-minute pre-taped reading, that information is also below. I think it costs something like $30. And I can usually get that back to you within a couple of days. I think I have some Wizios. If you ordered a Wizio, your Wizio will be out today. Today, I'm getting them out. All right. Thanks again, everyone. Be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. And we'll see you next time. Peace out. Bye.